Is today the day where you make excuses? Or is today the day you make a decision? Is today the day you get distracted? Or is today the day you get laser focused and do great work? Is today the day you get stressed, doubt yourself, you feel anxiety, frustration, anger? Or is today the day you dominate your day by taking control? The easiest choice to make is to go down the road most traveled. The challenging choice to make is to tread a new path. The question is, are you ready to go down the path to your greatness? Every day, there is always an opportunity to build, to create, to advance, to make progress. And you're either moving forwards or you're going backwards. If you want to make breakthroughs and move through the resistance that you're probably always going to have, but moving through it in a way that you make progress, you become more. It's now time for you to listen to your future self. Life, it doesn't happen by chance. It happens by design. So every day where you feel that resistance and you have the thoughts of, I could do it later, recognize that within that moment, you have the ability to use the power to take action. The challenge is to just get started. Not now, but right now. So today, look at all the things that you could do and ask yourself, do you want to win? You see, to win is to know what's important now. Say it with me, bring it on. Bring on the resistance, bring on the challenge, and allow yourself to have the feeling of elation when you've got started and you've done something that you said that you were going to do. And the more you do this, the better you will feel, the more adept and the stronger you will become at moving through the resistance that we all face. What's the greatest thing that you will ever do? Just get started. You see, how you do anything is how you do everything. And the fact is, it all comes down to one thing. That one thing is choice. And what's the easiest choice to make? Well, the easiest choice to make is to choose what you've chosen before. And if you always do what you've always done, then you'll always get what you've always got. Ultimately, your attention is your superpower. Your attention to focus on now what needs to be done. And this is the difference between success and failure. If life was a garden, then what sort of state is the garden of your life in? The natural state of the garden is decay. And if you don't look after the garden, then you know what happens, right? It gets out of control. You have weeds, and then there can be a lot of work to do. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now, but I would say it's not now, it's right now. It's really all about just playing the game of life and making progress. And maybe now it's time to wake up and realize the ultimate choice. The choice of who are you listening to? And I don't mean my voice, I mean the voices in your head. And I actually said the voices, because maybe there's more than one. When you woke up this morning, these voices started. Did you hear that voice that said, stay here, it's lovely, it's warm, it's comfortable? Or did you hear that other voice that said, hey, come on, let's get up, let's go? Which one are you listening to? It's the same challenge for most of us. It's who we're listening to. And I'd like to introduce you to someone. It's the voice of your future self. And you could think of me like a lawyer who's come from your future self to say, hey, your future self is talking to you. It's just maybe you haven't really been paying attention. Most people today are actually living a future they don't want. It's called a default future. The hardest thing to do to create a new future, it's to build a compelling relationship to your future self and just get started. Sometimes with the things we've got to do, they might seem really big, so just doing it might seem like, well, there's just too much to do. But the real key is to just get started. Because our brain will always favor what is easier. Our brains tend to focus on taking the easy path. That grows comes up against resistance. So the resistance that we have to start work, the resistance that we have to start engaging in activities that will create the futures that we want, always require us to move through resistance. And right now, I'd like you to imagine that you go on a journey and in the distance, in the horizon, you see someone and you think, that person looks familiar to me. And as you walk closer to that person, you realize, hang on a second, that's me. It is you, but it's you in the future. And as you get closer to your future self, imagine that future self opens his arms up and gives you a really big hug. And you realize the possibilities that exist for you to become your future self. Is today the day where you get distracted? Or is this the day you just get started?